back to Chat with Tiana. I'm a mom YouTuber based in Doha, Qatar, and I make videos to inspire and help you and I live our best lives. So welcome. If this is your first time on this channel, please consider subscribing to this channel, like the videos, share them, leave your comments below, and I always read them and I appreciate your comments and your support. So welcome. So I just remembered a folk tale that my late father used to tell us as kids, and it just, it sounded more relatable now. So I'm going to share that story with you in this video. But before I do that, please subscribe to this channel. So the story goes like this. A long time ago, the tortoise and fire were friends. I've told my kids this story so many times. So tortoise and fire, the turtle and fire were friends, and every time the turtle would go to visit his friend Mr. Fire, and Mr. Fire would make a feast of all kinds of food, and they would eat and drink and have fun, and the turtle would go back to his village. Every time it was Mr. Turtle who always went to visit Mr. Fire. So one day Mr. Turtle, he thought to himself and said, why is it that I'm the one that is always going to Mr. Fire's house to visit him all the time? Why has he not ever visited me before? So he decided to invite Mr. Fire to his village to visit him so they could have dinner. So he sent the request to Mr. Fire, and Mr. Fire was shocked because he asked the messenger who Mr. Turtle sent to him and said, has my friend Mr. Turtle forgotten that I am fire? So he sent the messenger back to Mr. Turtle, and Mr. Turtle insisted that Mr. Fire should come over to his house for dinner with his whole family. Now, he didn't just want Mr. Fire to come alone. He asked Mr. Fire to come with his children and his wife. So eventually, Mr. Fire had to succumb to the request, and he said yes. So he started preparing. Mr. Turtle started preparing for a big banquet for his friend Mr. Fire, who had never visited his house before. So the day came when Mr. Fire was to visit Mr. Turtle in his village. So Mr. Fire sent a message to Mr. Turtle and told him that he was on his way. And Mr. Turtle was excited, told his wife and servants, and they were preparing the whole place for the banquet of his dear friend to come over. So Mr. Fire set out on his way to the turtle's village. After a few hours, Mr. Turtle heard people screaming and running helter-skelter, and he was wondering what's going on. So he stopped one of the animals who was running and asked him what is going on. And the animal told him that everything is burning, the whole forest is burning, everything is burning, and they are running for their lives. Mr. Turtle couldn't understand what was burning or what the animal was talking about. So him and his family, they just stayed to see what exactly was going on. And eventually, he saw what was going on. His friend Mr. Fire was coming into the village, and he was coming because he was fire. He was burning everything on his way. He was burning everything on his way. So as soon as Mr. Turtle saw that this was actually what was happening, him and his family ran for their dear lives and left the village. And Mr. Fire was calling, beckoning on him, but he refused to stop because he had seen the damage that had happened behind Mr. Fire, and he didn't want him and his family to be victims. So they fled for their dear lives. Days later, Mr. Fire sent a message to Mr. Turtle and said, I told you I was not supposed to visit you, but you insisted. I am fire. I burn wherever I go. That is my nature. You either love me like that or leave me alone. Mr. Fire also said that he cannot change who he is because this is his nature. As fire, he burns wherever he goes. He burns wherever is on his way. Not because he wants to burn them, but because that is who he is. So eventually they decided to become long distance friends, and they never visited each other ever again, but they still remain good friends. So the moral of the story is, when people show you who they really are, when people tell you who they really are, believe them. Don't wait to see the damage they can cause before you actually believe what they tell you about themselves. Because sometimes it's actually safer to love people from afar. They may be nice people, but their nature could burn you, their nature could hurt you. So it's better to love them from afar. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a comment down below. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share them. And I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching and have a beautiful day.